Oh, we're gonna call this meeting over, I guess.
To the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody's so punctual with January, ready to get started. Welcome to the January 2nd meeting. It's a organizational meeting. So we will start with hearing any nominations for council president.
Jason Hughes.
I second that.
Okay, we don't need to, I think we can just go ahead and vote then.
Yep.
Yeah, so, right, so I guess
Yep.
just all in favor of Jason Hughes as council president?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and the ayes have it, so
Motion carries.
motion carries. And then nomination for vice president,
Tom Gear.
Second.
okay,
Aye.
and then we can have a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I guess just any abstained, I don't know if you guys need it. And then a nomination, that carries, and Tom is the president. And then a nomination for president pro tem,
Brett Morgan.
Second.
okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Who is
and
that?
Brett is now the president pro tem.
Who mentioned that second,
Chris
that
Mucker
nominated?
motion,
Okay.
Frank second.
Okay, I will now turn it over to our president.
All right, thank you. All right, we do have a couple other housekeeping things to take care of. First up, we have a sewer board vacancy.
Jesse Wagner.
Second.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Whoa.
All right.
Aye.
I was gonna say, we have two candidates. You should have in your package the letters from
Okay.
them.
Who seconded, hun?
Me.
Frank seconded. We have a motion on the floor
Frank
for
seconded.
Jesse Wagner. Is it Wagner?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna do a roll call vote on this, please.
Tom,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Brett,
I don't have another 15 grand to spend. so
abstain.
I'm
Okay, I gotcha.
Put that in your notes.
Okay,
All right, that motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next up is our sewer enforcement officer, Todd Fantasky. He's been doing the job, isn't he?
Yeah, but, just looking at this, Russ Braun, our building code officer, is also a sewage enforcement officer, and I think, yes, I think it just makes more sense.
that's fine, I didn't
To
realize.
have one person that's already in town dealing with it than two different people.
That's fine.
Do we know that he's
We
interested?
would have to,
I agree with Brett, not just for that fact, but he's an easier person to work with.
that's
you know,
fine.
Just being in the field.
I didn't realize that he was.
was.
We've always just been sent Todd's and never Russ's, so.
Yeah.
So do we wanna change that then?
I would make the motion, matter of fact, dual motion for the building code official and sewer official to be Russ Braun.
I'll second that.
Do we know he's willing to do both?
He's for hire, but he
Okay.
gets paid when he comes out, so I'm sure he's
No,
gonna
that's
find
fine.
out money.
I just-
Right, actually, and
I just wanna make
actually, the
sure.
borough doesn't pay for that, the people who have sewage, on-lot systems are the ones that pay
If
for
you
it.
put in
so.
a system and you have to pay for it.
Right.
The borough doesn't.
Or if there's a sewage spill at somebody's house and they don't take care of their, say, your service line goes bad, it just keeps backing up, it's not borough's responsibility, it's homeowners, and then we can use him to take.
Okay.
He is very easy to get a hold of.
All right, so we have a dual motion for sewage enforcement officer and building code official to both be Russ Braun. That was seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those motions carry. Next up is the auditors, Haynes and Company.
Art, do you see any reason why we should not retain Haynes?
No.
They've been there for several years.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, they do a good job.
We got a motion?
There is not a motion.
I'll motion.
Frank motions.
I'll second.
Chris seconds. All those in favor of retaining Haynes and Company?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Moving on to our solicitor, John Thomas. How do we feel about that?
I'll motion.
One second.
Frank motion, Brett second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Skipping to secretary, treasurer, right to know officer, pension officer, Miss Barbara Harp,
Motion.
Second.
Chuck Chris, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Zoning Hearing Board.
Barbara, did you reach
I
out to those
didn't.
people?
I
Okay.
didn't.
We need to reach out to the people because we've put the same people on for years. Brad Paulson, Brett McCracken, and
Tony Dees, yeah.
DCO. We've never used them. We just generically throw them on every year, but I think we probably ought
It
to.
could be something that you open up if people are interested in being on it. The only way they have to do anything is if you have some, like a zoning issue that goes to the zoning board to make the determination.
So do we want to reach out to them, see if they're still interested, or do we want to throw it open to the?
Throw it open and then see if
And
they're
reach
still
out.
interested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Question, do we not usually, if there's an issue, go to the county for their,
These are exemptions to, like, if you wanted to put in, for instance, a commercial building on a side street,
okay,
okay? We don't make that, we do what we don't. It goes to the zoning hearing board first, and they can give a variance, correct, Tom?
Mhm.
Yes.
They can issue a variance or give their recommendation to the council, where we don't get involved with it. And I don't think it's come up, maybe but once since I've been
I think
here.
we've had them once, and I can't remember what it was for.
Yeah, I think back when I was mayor was the last time.
Yeah,
And Don Martino was on it then,
Yeah.
at that time, on that board.
It's a seldom used thing, but people need to be familiar with the ordinances and be prepared to actually do it if we need
Right.
it to be done.
Yeah, we definitely need to open it up, cause I just have a feeling at least out of the three probably.
so do we want to advertise for people of interest? How do you wanna handle that? We're not gonna make a decision tonight, so we'll make it at another meeting, but do you wanna put it out for advertisement? Do you wanna just put
I
something?
mean, putting an advertisement is gonna cost us money, and I don't know that
Right.
it's really gonna gain, but, hey, people on Facebook, you wanna be on the zoning hearing board?
I mean, we could post
People
it.
watch, really.
We could
post
put
it
it
on our
on,
Facebook
yeah.
page, we can put it on our website,
Yeah.
our own website,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then we
Save us
could
money.
kind of put the
So
word
we'll
out.
do that.
Cause
Okay.
if anybody's interested in doing things, they're gonna be looking at stuff like that anyhow.
Right, they're already existing.
included, we may wanna reach out to the three who have been on there and ask them,
For sure.
you know,
Yeah.
are you still interested? And
Yeah.
if so, you need to familiarize yourself with the
Okay.
situation.
So we can get that up and then hopefully maybe be able to revisit this next month.
Okay.
Any further comments on the zoning board? All right, let's move on to our meeting schedule for this year. We have to change Labor Day, and we need to, again, because it's been every other year that we've decided whether or not to do work sessions, so we should talk about that as well. But Labor Day, we'll start there.
And you're still gonna hold them on Mondays, right?
Meetings, I assume we want to stick with the first Mondays of every month,
That's the rules.
so Labor Day is the only one we have to,
Yeah, I went through them. Labor Day's the only one that's affected.
yeah.
You want us to do that next Tuesday?
I like a Tuesday, but I know that sometimes it's hard for a couple, or at least one councilman, sometimes.
Tuesday is probably the third. That's
Yes.
what you're looking at, is probably the best option, and
I'm sure do it on my birthday.
Well, we can sing to you.
Do you want me to bring you a cake? We'll bring you a cake.
we'll spank you.
Well, turn off the video. All right, so do we wanna,
That's fine.
are we good with that Tuesday then, the third, you said?
That's fine with me.
And other than that, everything will be the first Monday?
Mhm.
So we'll advertise that. Work sessions, I bring it up every year. It's hit or miss, we don't use a lot of them, but if we advertise them all at once, they're there. Last year we did advertise them
Was it the fourth Sunday?
Third or fourth.
third or fourth Sunday, I don't
Third.
remember what we said.
I think it was the third Sunday.
Might as well keep it that way, right?
It could be part of the same ad, I assume,
Yes, it can.
so we could just post it third Sunday, what time did we say?
It was 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, those are our work sessions, should we need them?
Okay. All right.
Anything additional on the calendar? If not, that takes care of the organizational part of the meeting, and we'll move on to the regular part of the meeting. We have a few people here, so if anyone wishing to address council, I will open the floor. Does anyone have anything?
Well,
kind of answered my question with your discussion over the zoning board, but, I was just wondering if the borough, I'm sorry I have to read this, but I'm a horrible public speaker.
That's all right.
Does the borough have any ordinances in place regarding building size and use?
Yes.
I mean, do you know what they are by chance? I know we have.
They're in our zoning, with our zoning thing. I'm not really sure, like, we have, okay, how do I want to put it? Size, depending upon the size, is what kind of building permit they need. As long as they're off of their, the frontage by 20 feet and side, or back by 20 feet and 5 feet, we don't really say, there is like 3 stories, how far they can go up, but not the size any other way. As long as they have that much, side acreage or side footage and back and front. We don't do anything. I know the building beside you.
Now, as far as usage goes, we have zoning as far as, okay, it's commercial, residential, industrial. Just call it, we've talked. I think everybody's pretty familiar with the situation, are we not? Okay. There are multiple large garages in town that individuals use to store their equipment for their personal business. Not one of them that I'm aware of has ever been zoned a commercial because they do only their personal business out of it. I can name probably 3 right now that have done that with a log truck or something larger. But just because you have really big garage doors, to me, doesn't constitute an industrial or commercial application unless you're doing for hire business out of it. And that's how I kind of deem it. That's how I've always interpreted the rule. For instance, when Holly had her hair cutting uptown, we had to change the zoning ordinance, or her zoning.
We gave
to
her a
be
variance,
to give her a variance to do, because she had people coming into a residential neighborhood.
Right.
But if I decide I wanna buy a monster truck and park it in a big garage that I build, not it. Or if I have lifts or wood chippers or something, I wanna put them in there, it's a storage facility. Now, if they started doing heavy equipment repair out of next door, that I would deem to be commercial application. I got a lot of truck parks on my street, it's empty, may or may not be over the 10 tons, I don't know, but that's, I guess they're not there anymore, but they were driving by, firing up and driving by every day, and down here, and even without the garage, there was a lot of truck parked up on High Street. That's what I've been told, only by rumor by you, that's gonna be a log truck garage. I don't know.
That's all I knew, that's all I heard.
All we had heard is it was gonna be a storage building. They met the yoke of their responsibility.
When
they
he
brought
came,
into
yes,
us.
when he came and got his zoning compliance form, he was within his statute of what he needed on each side and frontage and back. And what he put down is it was for storage for his own vehicles, equipment. That was it.
If
That's
you
what
were
it was
to
gonna
put a
be
sign
used
up,
for.
Advertising, doing outside work, or if you were if we were to find out that he was performing work on outside equipment for money, you know, then it definitely falls into a commercial category, and, you know, if other people are bringing work to him to do equipment, then the stipulation or the terms by which he got his, you know, got his permit would be probably rendered invalid, because it's not a commercial.
Right, if he starts doing,
Are there any ordinances in place regarding the running of industrial diesel powered equipment within the borough?
I don't believe there
The
is.
state statute, I think it allows for, what, 5 minutes?
Sometimes it's hours I have to listen to things running, and they're not doing anything, they're just sitting there running. So, there's a difference to me between pulling it in and parking it and shutting it off
Absolutely.
versus starting it up. I've heard backhoes start up right outside my house around 6:30 in the morning in the summer. And they just sit there and run for a while, and by they go down the street. It's a noise level that I don't think most homeowners would anticipate, nor should they tolerate. Lawnmowers and weed eaters and such, I can understand, but when you have large diesel powered equipment just sitting there running for endlessly, it's annoying, especially when it's early in the morning on the weekends, or, you know.
We do have the nuisance ordinance, and that speaks to it. It's
Yeah.
fairly vague.
If you would look into the state statute, okay, the sign that was posted
Groceries.
at the grocery store when that law went into effect,
Yeah, it's Act 124, I believe.
that would come into play.
And
Provided it's over the
we
week.
most definitely could send a letter. I just sent a letter out for complaints that of somebody on Anderson Street sitting and revving up their vehicle over and over and then doing it like all through town. I just sent a letter about that because there are noise levels and we do have a nuisance ordinance. And I most certainly could send a letter in that respect, that this is creating a problem within the community and that you told me that you were gonna store equipment there, not allow it to sit and run. I mean, I'm more than happy to do that for you. Now, whether it'll do anything,
Well, I think the other thing we might wanna be, for both you and us, is when it happens, she's
Give
not
me a
here at
holler.
6 a.m. But if it wakes you up, call, leave a voicemail, so we can document it. On this date, Jay Burdecki called, had
Yeah.
this problem for
Yeah.
this duration.
Yeah.
And we could put it down and document it so that if we have to get our attorney involved or
Right.
code enforcement or whoever, then we have, this is what happened, when it happened, and how often it's becoming a problem. So it's not, he said, she said,
Yeah.
it was reported, it was
Yeah.
documented, and maybe we can get somebody up there, but if it's 4 a.m, nobody's here, but at least you call, leave a message like this is ridiculous, it's happened this time,
right?
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it's
I
not
think that would help
necessarily
build
that
a-
it wakes me up, cause I'm up about 22 hours a day anyway, most of the time. But it's just there's certain hours of the day it's nice to have quiet.
Well, if it's irritating you,
Yeah,
then call, and that way we can basically build your case for why this is a nuisance and why this is a problem, because if you don't tell us, you know, it's, nobody's gonna report it other than who it's affecting, and it's not affecting most people in this room.
State law, you said on that?
Okay, and I just had one other question. This is in regards to the, I don't even know what you wanna call it, we've always called it the abandoned street or alleyway up by my house. And I just wanted to ask if the borough is unanimous in its agreement that the abandoned alleyway by my house was never a street, planned to be a street, or otherwise mapped as or used as passageways for motor vehicles. Because I've heard, when I first moved here, everybody said that was a street at one time, and then it just got, for whatever reason, they quit using it or whatever. But, I've spoken with Jason about it, and he said that he can't find anywhere where it was ever anything other than
We went
what
back
it is
about
right now.
50 years in our records and can't find any record of
Right.
us abandoning it as a street or
It was
abandoning
never,
it as a street.
well, I went back through all the old, like minutes and all that stuff where streets were ordained. There was nothing in there back from like 1920s.
I do
So,
have an old tax
yeah,
map.
so
and
I
a
don't
map
know.
that shows something there.
Well, I know Jason
But-
showed it to
Yeah,
me,
I-
but we
Yeah.
don't have anything here
I
in the
asked
borough
about the map
where
to
it
try and
was
get-
ever,
I asked the attorney about the source of the map, and I was never given where this map came from. Because we can't replicate that map, we can't find that map independently of what you had. So if there's something out there, we just haven't been able to find it beyond that map, and then we can't find any corroborating evidence to back up what the map shows, and maybe the map is something that was proposed that never even made it to the point of being ordained as a street. We really just don't know. We can't find any record is the problem.
Just because it wasn't an ordained borough street doesn't mean it didn't exist as an alleyway. And there's Pennsylvania alley laws and things of that nature that don't pertain to the municipality, but pertain to your rights as a property owner.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the person that you're arguing with fought that case over the alleyway, Paulson's alleyway, and some right-of-ways and things that we have. And we told him the same thing. You're more than welcome to pursue it, we're not gonna do it for you. If you wanna remove this stuff and go through the legal expense, you're well within your rights to do so. But we don't have anything where it shows that it was ever our responsibility. If we did, I think everybody in this room would back you up on this was ours, and we'll go through the process. But there's nothing that we see that shows it was.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I know I talked to you and I talked to you, but I didn't really talk to everybody, so I just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page with that.
What are you wanting from this? Are you wanting it to be ordained a street, or having it never been
No.
a street, it can't be a street, or what is your personal,
Well, I've talked to Brett about it several times over the years. I just wanted what's behind me, officially make what's behind me mine, and this, just divide it up among
At least
everybody
her
that's.
half of the alley to be her property, officially, if it is an alley or a street, correct?
Yeah, just everybody take their half and that's it.
I'm not sure what the law would say in regard, or a
That's the
surveyor.
standard thing
The
that's done.
Pennsylvania alley law gets into that, but it's something that the attorneys are gonna have to drag out. We don't have a dog in the fight if we never owned it, if we never possessed it.
If you're looking,
Because if we would've had it and abandoned it, it would've went back 50%.
Right.
This half theirs, but they wouldn't have the ability to block, stop access.
I have a thought and an opinion on this, but I hesitate to bring it up in the public meeting, and I think maybe perhaps we should go to an executive session, because I think there may be a precedent for this that would perhaps be to her advantage, but I'm not,
Okay, that's fine.
I'm a little hesitant to.
Well, maybe, we can go in there and talk about it, but maybe you write an email with Barb to the attorney so we can get,
Yeah, it's.
you know what I mean? Because we can go in there and hash it out, but we're gonna come back out with, well, let's run that back to the attorney.
Yeah, I just, I just don't wanna say something in a public forum that's inappropriate, but I believe there's an alley situation where we couldn't open it up as an alley now if we wanted to.
Okay, so let's,
Yeah.
maybe
We
give
can
it
talk
Barb.
Yeah, we can talk about it after the meeting if you want, or
All right, I'll
we go that
And
route.
if we don't have anything in it to say, that's up to her as far as private, to go after, if she wants to get this.
Yeah,
What do they call it when you
eminent domain?
go after a piece of property that's not marked, that, owned by anybody, quick claims, you can do a quick
There's
claim
lots
on
of
it?
adverse possession, there's a
Yeah.
lot
What's
of,
that?
there's squatters' rights, adverse possession, a lot of things like
Yeah.
that.
And I think there's a called quick claim and stuff too.
I think there was a quick claim on the property that is potentially disputed, I believe, so.
If you wanna call it a quick claim, yeah.
Well, that's the terms that were used, whether it was properly filed is in question, but, yeah, so there's a lot.
Yeah.
So we can, Chuck can present what he has and run it to the lawyer if necessary.
I was concerned about the library.
Well,
It's not on the agenda. Are you gonna discuss anything about it?
it's not
We've got a
only,
problem
done?
we need taken care of.
Jane,
I think so,
we don't wanna cut you short.
yeah, actually, yeah, I am done, and I'm probably gonna skate, so I gotta be up in a few hours, so.
Okay, you get some sleep and,
Yeah,
but thank you for coming down.
thank you for your time.
I had made a decision before we started that if anybody decided to talk about the library, I would pass over that portion of the meeting because it feels inappropriate for me to preside over any part of the meeting that discusses the library. So if Will would like to discuss that, I would like to hand the meeting over to your control during that portion.
Well,
I'm not saying there's much to discuss, but it just feels.
yeah, I was gonna say, there's nothing for this board, my feelings, I don't know if anybody else's feelings, to be discussed here. That's they have a board for that,
Right.
those decisions of what's going on, that's not up to us to do anything about that. Does anybody disagree with that? Right?
We need to hear what he's got to say.
well, if he's got certain points, yeah.
I don't have a point, I was just concerned about our library. I don't want it to close.
It's not gonna close, Will.
If you got certain concerns other than closing, and I don't know what you've heard, if you wanna air it, fine, if not, we give the money, give them $20,000 a year, they have a board, we used to employ them, you know that, in the
Yes.
library, now we don't, now it's all up to that board, and they have their internal issues, and I'm hoping they'll work them out, but, we certainly support it, we'll continue to financially support it.
Okay, no other discussion on that.
Okay. Is that satisfied? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. With that, we will close public address. We'll move on to the mayor's report.
I don't have a ton, I think on the library note, I think it was nice that the council members who went to the public meeting, just to show support for the situation. That's all I'll say on that. Again, I think they will figure out what they'll figure out. I think the Rotary for the beautiful Christmas decorations in town. I heard a lot of compliments from folks about how nice Jewett looked during the holiday season, so I think that's really lovely, and thank you all for your work on doing that. And I just want to say for the start of the year that I hope we all can work together and have a productive year and move forward together. So that's all I have.
Thank you for that. Got a motion to accept the mayor's report?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Brett and Chris, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's take a look at the maintenance report. Any additional comments on that that you know of, or anybody?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I would add that, the radar signs are not getting enough sunlight. I have noticed that both of them are covered with snow, and I'm not too sure what it would take, for the maintenance guys to get a long-handled broom, because one of the main, obviously this time of year, we're not getting as much sunlight, but when they're covered with snow, they're not going to recharge. One on the west end hasn't worked all day, so.
Can you get a secondary battery?
I'm not sure. I know they've talked to the manufacturer about a couple of things, but I'm not sure if a secondary battery, but it's still without the panel getting charged, a secondary battery isn't going to charge either.
But if it's charged, especially if it's secondary and you took it, even if you had to bring it back to trickle charge it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean,
Sure
it's
how
just
that's,
an-
because the old one was, the portable one, they were interchangeable, they go back and forth. And I think that right now, what's keeping these two from being charged right now is they're both covered with snow.
And the days are short.
Do we know anything about our streetlights? Do we have an update on,
Yeah,
Come up and,
is that later?
yes.
and maintenance.
Well, if it's gonna come up, that's fine.
Yeah,
If not,
we
I'm
got all
okay.
sorts of stuff done.
All right, I'm excited.
Oh, jeez.
All right, well then, for now, if there's no further questions on the mayor's report, I'll take a motion to accept it.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That was Chuck and Chris. We move on to the borough manager's report. Ms. Hart?
I don't have anything else except Friday I was informed that we were awarded $27,531.95 from the county ARPA money. If you remember last year, they gave us $38,000 for infrastructure or blight. I put the money that we put in to the sidewalk, what we had to pay. I submitted it and they granted us that money, so.
Good job.
So we didn't actually pay anything for our sidewalks, except for our, of course, our engineering.
That's good, that's wonderful.
That's very good.
So we should be getting a check for that shortly.
Good.
And that's, other than that, that's all I have.
What do you have to do with that when we have to submit it? You said we get money now, but we have to ask them permission as far as where we use it?
No.
We're being
Well, I already,
reimbursed.
what I had to submit,
Oh,
I had to submit the
Needs to be on the
paperwork
form.
into them that we had already paid for this, along with a canceled
Right.
check that we had paid for it. And then they approved it and paid us back.
Good job, Barb.
Yep.
All
Thanks.
right.
Motion to accept the borough manager's report.
Second.
Oh, Chuck, Tom got it, sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next up, take a look at the minutes.
Oh, we got two of those too.
Oh, that's true, we'll look at both. If there's no questions or concerns, they will stand approved as presented. And you can start looking at the treasurer's report and payment of bills.
Barb, question, the monies that we receive from Darling Cossack or through Darling Cossack, that's probably one of our biggest sources of revenue, am I right?
Yes.
The money's now here, that's fairly close to the end of 23, is it pretty much
I think the last statement she gave me said she had $10,000 still to collect,
10,000 out of how much?
whatever the starting amount is. What was
300
it?
and
300 and so thousand.
Yeah, the
200.
budget isn't totally from her tax dollars,
No, it's 200 and some thousand.
Okay, all right, so there's a
I don't know
relatively
off the
small-
top of my head.
It's okay, so.
No, she's collected
a
the
relatively
majority
small
of it.
percentage of it.
Yes.
And then along about April, we start getting the
Usually beginning of March,
March, April.
because she sends the tax bills out in February. We start getting something in March.
So towards the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and the bills paid, bills pending. A second.
Any further discussion? Chris makes the motion, Robin seconds to approve treasurer's report, paying the bills, bills pending. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Move on to our committee reports, where I look forward to learning about the lights. Manage the streets and buildings.
Well, I'm gonna turn it over to Brad, but, that accident that was out West End's, what pretty much figured it the power surge, because I know there's several million people probably in this room that had power surges that blew out things in their homes.
Right.
But Tom Davis, Brett contacted Tom Davis to look into the situation, and he talked to him today, I talked to him yesterday, he might have some more information, so I'm gonna turn it over to Brett about the lighting.
Okay, so Jason got a hold of me the other night, the night that we had the accident in town, told me streetlights weren't working, so I came down, tried to diagnose myself, got a hold of Tommy Davis, he was out of town, he wasn't available. The box itself has a surge protector in it on the whole of the electrical system. That was fine. The fire department sign was also fine. The GFIC inside the box was fine. The starters that start the lights, also fine. Tom Davis came down, looked at them the next day. There's fuses at the base of each and every light. Those were bad. We thought that was it. He went and got new fuses. Great. Put them in. Not doing it. So he went up to the top of the light. Of course, that's the day we had all that massive rain come in. He pulled off the top. There's not a bulb. It's an LED array. Under the LED array, there's an LED driver that starts the bulbs, and there's a surge arrestor on each and every light to protect the LED drive and the LED light. So Tom's going to order the LED. He's going to order the surge arresters under the LED drives. It's $40 a piece. I told him, get them coming. We're going to be fighting either our insurance company, the power company, or the insurance company of the person who caused the accident for this project. Tom is very hopeful that $40 fix for these will get it going. If it gets into drives and then the light array, the drives aren't terribly expensive. The light array itself, we're looking anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a pole. So, don't spend that money we just got back from the county because we might need it to fix their stuff, but we should be reimbursed by one or the other.
Was it all the lights, Brad?
Everyone.
Every one of them?
Yes. Now, I'm not 100% certain that they're not linked together, kind of like Christmas lights. Tom's working on it. He would have more than that, but he's going to start, get one in, try. If we get one to work, we should know. There's also a chance that this one was a surge arrestor.
Right.
This one got, he said it comes down to voltage, and the different voltage can jump different gaps. Could have fried everything. Don't know. You know, it's not like the old bulbs where you shake it and you can hear it. So I have to see what we got going on. That right now is where we're at with it. And I will continue to work with Tom to get it going. He's going to have about 40 hours in just diagnosing and replacing and doing stuff. So this, just his bill isn't going to be cheap. You know, he's over $100 an hour. So we're already $5,000 into this.
In terms of recourse, what priority, or who do you go after? How do we decide who to pursue as far as recourse in recovering our damages? Or the private sector that suffered loss, do they have any recourse in this, or don't you know?
Well, this is something that Tom and I were talking about, because there's a lot of people in the area that lost a lot of stuff, a lot of microwaves, a lot of TVs, a lot of surge protectors, refrigerators, etc. And if we all got together and made an effort to go after West Penn, we might get someplace. But for a $150 or $200 TV, I'm not going to do it. But if you got all these different people who all lost thousands and it cost the borough $20,000, we might be able to do something. But right now, Tom needs to see where we're at with ours. We went through manufacturing information. There may be some warranties with it. We're just pushing over a year that they were lit. So we're really trying to get to the base of our problem, and then I think we could get, with the community at large, talk to Tom, go, how do we go about making a claim against the power company? Because they have a mechanism for that. If a transformer blows and it fries your house, I know that people in my family have got money back, got things replaced without having to use their homeowners. A lot of people, just go to your homeowners. Yeah, well, you got a $500 or $1,000 deductible, and then it raises your rate, and that's just not fair for something that we
Do
do.
you think that's the first line of recourse as opposed to the, whoever, hit the pole and their insurance, or
If they have insurance.
Our insurance might fight with it, if you turn it into our insurance,
They
it
may
might fight
with
the
both
card,
of them.
fight with both of them to get the money back.
Yeah, they subrogate the other two.
Yeah, our insurance would probably fight.
Yeah.
Both.
And that's the thing, and if we can get some other people, figure out exactly what's wrong first with ours, because
Right.
we haven't got to the bottom of that, and then if we can invite some of the residents that suffered a loss to get on, maybe that's something we
The
can
other
do.
thing I hope to come out of this somehow, some way, and I think Tom Davis should be able to figure out why the surge protector was there. Do we need another line of defense to keep this from happening again? Obviously, we have a surge protector, and yet it's still skipped over that, and we're looking at thousands of dollars here. I don't know if there's another line of defense in that. I don't know electricity though.
And I kinda asked him about it, he said it happens so quick, it's weird, it's like my son's situation. Xbox plugged in here, TV's plugged in here, Xbox completely fine, even though Santa Claus, I had on good authority, was bringing him a new one 2 days later, that was fine, but the TV, shot. And they plugged into the same market, it doesn't make any sense. It's a crapshoot.
Does Hamlin Township have any municipal damage?
Oh, yeah.
I know people in Hamlin Township did, but like.
Oh, the township
yeah.
stuff, I don't think they have any infrastructure like we do.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
only thing they have is the blinking light Lance Corners is theirs, but they don't have any like poles
Mhm.
or anything like that.
I was gonna say, because if you got all the people in Jewett and Hamlin Township, I mean, that would be a lot of people.
No, the residents, we put that in, but I don't
Yeah,
think the municipality suffered.
For sure, everybody's TV was gone.
Yeah.
Fans, everything.
Oh, no, you have TV down there.
Well, that's a concern the insurance companies would have.
Well, too, yeah, they gotta look at that.
I don't know how you verify that. All right, anything else on streets and buildings?
No, not right now.
All right, finance and insurance, personnel?
I had a lengthy meeting with all the employees last week, and we're good.
Good.
How's the personnel policy going?
Well,
Community development, planning, parks?
Well, parks, we got the 5-year plan. There's quotes, as you know. Just waiting on funds. That's about it for the parks. The community development, solar. I actually had a little conversation with Joel Morrison, the guy that was part of the passive house there in Kane. And he kind of has an interest, but his interest is more energy efficiency. Now, whether his board will go for it, that's entirely up in the air.
The board of the passive house, you mean?
Yeah, no, the board that has to do with West Penn Sustainable Energy, I think.
Okay.
But he was talking, they would do like energy audits and then recommend windows, doors, insulation, different things like that. And he had shown particular interest because I guess they really like things like libraries.
Mhm.
Now, what's gonna come of it, I don't know. Holidays came. Wait and see if I hear from him. But I thought it was rather interesting because we were talking about how the building's old and things aren't fixed.
Mhm.
If we actually had the ability to get funds and whatever to replace windows in that,
Mhm.
put us in the better end of things.
It'd be a good thing.
But that's about that.
Is that it? Was that all you had, Frank?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. All right, so fire department, nothing really new, major happening. They've been busy, they were busy today, but everybody's good, everybody's safe. So they got a new member, so we continue the membership drive. Anybody watching, not just fire department, EMS, we don't have them listed here, but they're also always looking for volunteers, so anybody who's interested. Those are our two emergency response. They're very important to our community, so if anybody can help in any way, either one of those, would love to hear from you. Other than that, there's nothing major going on at the fire department. Library, I think we kind of covered where they're at. They're working on it. It's kind of where it is. That's just where it stands. Sewer, when I was last there, nothing major. Anything developed since then?
You know, still flowing downhill. We have some electrical issues at Particle Board Pump Station, but Tom Davis is getting that squared away and we should be good to go. And we got a new member. You didn't tune in earlier.
That is true. A new board member. Code enforcement.
Don't have anything.
All right. Shifting to old business. I leave the Borough building on here. I know it's kind of winter time, an awkward time to try and do inspections and all that, but I won't lose sight of it. Any progress, anything?
No.
Okay. Sister City project.
I have nothing. We need, Brianna, we need to get together, it's just been, timing has not been good.
Okay. McWapic, I'll let them speak, but everybody should have this proposed menu options in front of them. So, I don't know, Chris, did you want to take this one, Barb, somebody?
You wanna take it, Robin?
Robin?
Sure. Okay, the menu she got with, Lisa Johnson. This is what's available. We have to choose, I guess we're choosing what, three of what we want.
Three main platters.
Yeah, the three main fibers of what we want. Get back to her, probably ASAP, so she can get everything together. And we have to hire a bartender if we're going to go with one drink.
Well, we have to make some decisions on that.
If,
Yeah.
I did talk to the manager down there, she said that, we can do, instead of have to hire a bartender, cause it's only a short period of time like that, that we can go ahead and they can sign a paper, they'll have a sheet for us, they can sign a sheet, and then they can go over and buy a drink at the regular bar.
They can
Okay.
But that's a way of
Good.
signing them in, and
Yeah.
I'll take responsibility as far as the sign-ins, cause I'm a member. I can
Okay.
take, the responsibility of that sheet.
There's no
When
drink,
they get the drink.
there's no drink included in the price,
No.
it's strictly cash bar.
Right.
Do we-
Right.
Do we get
Coffee, tea, and
Punch,
If you want punch, you don't have to have punch.
Right,
I
right?
think we should have punch.
Do we not yet know how much the hall is going to cost?
I had the price, it escapes me, I'll find it.
Cause we're
out.
gonna have to secure that, you know, I know you reached out and asked them, but
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
have-
Yeah,
have to
they had
secure
new,
that
'cause
date.
when I talked to her, they had new,
Rental agreements.
agreements they were doing for this year for 24. And she wouldn't give me one of the 23s.
Okay, can you guys, one of you guys get a 2024 so we can get it?
Man, if I gotta go the weekend, I will.
Yeah, I talked to the lady that charged her now, Beth Carpenter was in the interim, and then she referred me to a lady from Bradford. and she assured me that we have it rented. Matter of fact, she didn't know how much the rent was going to be, and I have an idea in my head, but I forgot what it was.
Do we have a committee that's taking care of this?
Yes.
Who's the committee? Okay, well,
They just brought this to us to see if we wanted to make choices.
that's fine.
I just reached
I think-
out to
I think the
Lisa.
committee
did
can
it.
make the choices, I don't know, we can have a vote on this, pick what you wanna eat. and-
But figuring out the alcohol was important, so I'm glad that came up.
Okay,
As far as the cost, I wanna say if it's under, 100 people, I wanna say it was $100 or something like that.
It's
Not much, $100-200, I would say.
It was reasonable, and a lot of it depends on if you wanna do your own cleanup or pay them.
Right.
You know, there's an additional fee for them to clean it
Cause
up.
cleanup's 150, you know that.
Okay, we'll get it figured out.
Alright,
You can text, are you texting Erica?
I say no Salisbury steak.
Yeah,
If you
no.
need Erica's the one who does the hall, if you don't have one of our teachers.
See, that's why I didn't want the committee can pick it, I don't care. You
Yeah,
can sit here and argue around.
I'm gonna check our favorites and turn it in.
I did,
Well, you did.
I did.
Check your favorites, that's good.
Alright,
No roast beef.
anything more on McWapic? It's coming up the end of next month,
Mhm.
so
That's it.
I guess be all finalized by the next meeting, probably. Alright, solar update? Is there an additional one? I know you kinda talked about it.
We kinda talked about it. I was hoping there would be more, but
Okay.
unfortunately,
Well, we can keep it on there. Give you more information. Alright. Moving on to new business, we have pension funds. That is the, was it 90 estimate, it's an estimate, we don't know.
I don't know
much
how
it is.
much it is. It was 83 something was the actual value, but I don't know if that's what you'll get back or if
Yeah, we
that's.
don't know, but there've been a lot of different talk about different options, so it was requested to be put on here, so. Do you want to start since you requested it?
I was just thinking more along the lines of ideas, what it would be done, whether it would be just put away, whether it would go to, say, the fire hall a little bit to the library, help them out.
Well, I'll throw out the first idea that I had, which I talked to Barbara about a little bit. Is, we're in a situation financially, we know the borough budget is tight. And what we're finding at the end of last year, the beginning of this year, is we're really waiting on that tax money. And, we have to sometimes dip into savings to get to it. And that didn't used to be the case. So if we get an influx of some money that we don't necessarily anticipate, it would be nice if we could have, like, even if it was a separate little savings account that was like the tax account, where it would sit there, and then at the end of the year, or the beginning of the year, we would pull from it, so it didn't impact anything else, and that was to get us until tax money started coming in. And then when we reimburse, we put it back over in the account, and maybe we get to a point where we don't ever need it, which would be great. But I don't love that, I don't know that I'm thrilled with the fact that we have to kind of pull from savings and other places to get to taxes. Was my first thought.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to wait till we get to April and see where we're at and what the finances look like. I mean, the budget's tight, but we got $150,000 roughly that's not sitting in CDs without the $80,000 coming in, without the $27,000 coming in. Are we gonna go hog wild and start giving it away all the time? No.
No.
But we need to get back to utilizing all the borough assets to make sure that we don't have a problem. Because since 2015, basically when the sewer authority and the borough basically divorced, we had a real good project going for 30 years. And then all of a sudden, we're divorced and everything's not going the way it used to. So hopefully we can get some of that stuff working together again and figure out where we're at. But as far as I'm concerned, we're not giving the money to anybody right now until we know where we are financially. Then we
Right. And I don't think, I don't even think putting it on here, Frank, my understanding is you weren't looking for a decision, you just kinda wanted to start the conversation.
I just wanted to start the conversation, and
And see what
I
our
kinda
options
like
are.
your idea of having a little account, that there it is, boom, don't touch it, don't care.
Right,
And then at the end of the year, like you said, then you're not touching CDs, you're not touching anything else. So I kinda like that idea.
and don't know how much that would be, so it may not be all of it, but definitely, at least for right now, we gotta get through. before we decide. And maybe at that point, we'll see what's left, and then maybe we can see if we want to do something.
Don't forget, we got the pocket park, we got all this other stuff.
Well, we got a lot of things on our
Right,
plate.
there's a lot moving.
Yeah. All right, does anybody have any other thoughts on the pension funds, which aren't even here yet?
Nope.
All right. We have a resolution for the sewer authority to update the articles of incorporation. So we need one? Do we have one?
We had one, it got messed up at the attorney's. It was put in MT Jewett instead of Mount Jewett. So now it needs to be sent back through everything, back through the attorney and back through the state, because what they had on paper and what we had submitted was not the same thing, so.
They either had to change their name to MT Jewett Regional Sewer Authority,
Right.
or the amount had to be spelled out, and it was the sewer authorities.
And it's non-refundable, $150.
Yeah, it was their lawyer that,
Yeah.
but we have so they need another
We need to make
resolution from
another
us.
motion. Okay. So,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Brett, Chris, all those in favor of that corrected resolution?
Aye.
Alright.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, that concludes our business. Anything from the public about what we talked about? You're all we got.
Oh, God, no.
No, you're good? I'll take a motion to adjourn then.
Second.
Tom, Chris, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries, we are adjourned.